My friends, one of the most touching passages in the Rosh Hashanah service is found in the second of the two prophetic portions. Thus says the Lord, a voice is heard in Ramah, lamentations and bitter weeping. Rachel mevaka al baneha. It is Rachel weeping for her children. She refuses to be comforted, for they are away. The rabbis embellish this poetic passage and explain that when the Jewish people were cruelly uprooted from the land of Israel and driven into exile, they had to pass over the grave of Mother Rachel. The Midrash elaborates that our matriarch Rachel rose from her grave and prayed to God for her children. She was so insistent with her prayers that God had to promise her that this was a temporary episode in the history of the Jewish people. Eventually, they would return and resettle the land, a promise fulfilled in our generation with the establishment of the state of Israel. Why was Rachel able to exact this promise from God, whereas according to the Midrash, our patriarchs failed? The answer is found in two words in the Haftorah, me'ana lehinachem. Rachel refused to be consoled. She refused to take no for an answer. Where others were discouraged, she was full of hope. Where others saw a lost cause, she had visions of a future. Where others saw total destruction, she saw a bridge to renewal. Behind every great achievement lies the spirit of me'ana lehinachem, the refusal to quit, the stubborn, dogged persistence to hope and to build. My friends, COVID-19 has shattered our lives. Here in America, close to 200,000 Americans are now dead. More than 20 million men and women have lost their jobs. The coronavirus has blurred our future and deflated our spirits. And yet, in the spirit of me'ana lehinachem, we refuse to give up. We refuse to surrender to the hidden enemy. Our stubborn, persistent refusal to accept things as they are. We will never permit failure, nor perplexity, nor sorrow, nor death to defeat us. Instead, we must dwell in hope. This past week, I had the honor to participate at the White House in the historic Abraham Accord agreements with the President, the Prime Minister of Israel, and the foreign ministers of the United Arab Emirates and the Kingdom of Bahrain. For over a decade, I have engaged in interfaith diplomacy across the region to ferment Gulf-Israel relations. The spirit of me'ana lehinachem, the refusal to quit, never to surrender our people's hopes and dreams for peace. When we surrender our hopes, we surrender the possibilities of improving life and changing circumstances. Life without hope is hopeless. We achieve as we believe. We are the people whose anthem is the Hatikva, which means the hope. In our families, in our communities, in America, in Israel, and around the world, this Rosh Hashanah, let us cling stubbornly to our hopes that keep us alive. Shana Tova.